Hi folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here, and I want to tell you today about the state of things in the world, how people are. It might surprise you. Alright, well, people are good. People are doing good things every single day. I know that many tend to focus on the bad, and sometimes you have to pay attention to the bad in order to help the victims of it. And so I've spent a lot of time exposing bad things to help people that are victims of it. And many people in my life have told me about, focusing on the negative and creating more negative. I am highly spiritual. I completely believe in that and the law of attraction. However, I also believe that those people that are experiencing these bad things need a powerful voice. And I have a powerful voice. And so me doing that, in my opinion, is and was always spiritually driven, for one, and was positive for the victim. Just because it's negative for the abuser or the aggressor does not mean it's not positive and creating positive in the world. People are doing good things, and even when they're feeling bad. I talk to so many people lately that they seem to they talk about feeling empty, like there's no meaning in their life. They don't know why bother getting up in the morning. If they didn't have kids or jobs, they wouldn't get up in the morning. And they're seeking something spiritually, but they don't know what it is. And they don't want to have guilt and shame, and they don't want to go to church and feel like that they're going to be judged. They don't want rules. They just want love and compassion and companionship, and they're craving that. They want to feel who they are spiritually, emotionally, sexually, financially, and in every way, and they don't want to feel guilty about it, and they want to be good people, and they're not sure what to do about this emptiness. A lot of them talk about, they just wish they could just leave, which, yes, is suicidal, but at the same time, it's like they can't think of a reason to stay here. They don't know what's the point of tomorrow when every day is the same. And a lot of people tend to focus on their children, and that helps them get to day after day after day. Or in order to even survive at all, they have to have jobs. And so they kind of just plod along, and they don't know how to talk to their guides and angels, or they don't pray and do things that create their life. They just kind of let their life happen because they're on survival and they have to be practical. They just want peace in their life. They want love. They want, sure, they love, money to rain down, and they'd love, all of these things that seem blissful, like, hanging out on the beach and whatever. But even if that happens, you're still, there you are with yourself, But they seem to have given up on that happening, and in that giving up on a spiritual connection because they don't want to feel, they don't want to feel judged. Last week this happened to me. It happened again yesterday. I went to get some groceries. I'm going to try not to cry. I cried about it yesterday. I was going to do a video about it yesterday, but I don't like to cry in all my videos. I went to the grocery store, and I didn't have the money on my card to pay for the food. And my bank happened to be nearby, so I walked over to my bank, and turned out it was true. I didn't have any money. So I went back, and I'm told they kind of had to restock the groceries. And this woman, the checkout gal, she reached in her card in her pocket, and she got a debit card. And she paid for my groceries. Just like that. And she said, yeah, you can pay me next time you come in or when you have it. Not knowing me. Not knowing anything about me. And she paid it forward, She bought my groceries, which I really needed. Excuse me. I knew I should have had a tissue telling you that story. The thing is she said, well, you do it for me, even though she didn't know me. And I would do it for her. And I have done that for people. And it's always a refreshing, delightful reminder when something like that happens to me. I just want to encourage you folks to help people. Okay, it's a thankless job. But when we're feeling, like I just mentioned earlier, spiritually empty, why bother, why get up, why live, what does it matter, who cares, blah, blah, blah. Just keep doing good things for other people. Keep making other people smile. Help them get through their day a little bit easier, breathe easier. Help them bring in the wood. Help them pack their groceries. Buy them some food if you can. Help them with their electric bill if you can. I'm not sure if this is economically viable, but I want to do a program at Bringing Back Goddess Church where we can try to, it's help thy neighbor. So you help your neighbor do something, you're helping your family, like you're paying an electric bill or something, that we can help you to have that be a donation to the church, or set up a fund where we can, help people directly with things that improve their immediate quality of life, which would be, food, which would be utilities, a roof over their head, a blanket, a coat, basic things in life, and how amazingly important that they are. Little things that you do, like calling someone and telling them that they matter, or they're going through something and they are, and perhaps, even if you're a hairdresser or a bartender or someone at a cafe, perhaps you're the only person that does know. Perhaps you're the only one that sees that person. So, smile. Give them shit if there's somebody like me, because, I take that as love. And hear them and see them. And this validates your life more. Just listen to them. If they give you your card, their business card or something, give them a call the next day. See if they're okay. Tell them you're thinking of them. You hope things are going better. They matter. Even when you feel like you don't matter and life sucks and you might want to die and everything's all like blah, 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 what does it matter? You can still let someone else know that they matter. Because they do, and it feels like they do. And we seem to be living in a time where we're all, many of us, just feeling like, what is going on? It so feels in the void, in a way, But a lot of people tell me, well, things are worse than ever. Blah, blah, blah. Apparently that's my word for the day, blah, blah, blah. But with the internet, things are better than ever. Because we've been living in the dark ages, right? The internet's the light. So, yeah, there's a lot of gibberish, there's a lot of lies, but that's the way it was anyway. The newspapers, the neighborhood prattle, or whatever it is, you always have to wade through the bullshit to get to what's real. You always have to see what's intuitively right for yourself. But with the internet, we've been exposed to so much that was already happening. So it's like the things are going on in the room, you go in, you turn a light on, they were always going on. So we're seeing them now so we can heal them and fix them. And so it's not like they're new problems and things are worse than ever. Things are better than ever. It's all hands on deck right now. I'm calling all light workers. It's about raising the vibration of Mother Earth and her people and making other people feel better about being alive, even those days when you don't feel like there's a reason for you to be walking around. Because every day is the same. And it's like every day and every dollar and work, and it's just plod along, plod along, plod along. But, if you've seen the Karate Kid or whatever, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. That's life. Okay? You just do it, you do it, you do it, you do it. The goal being to get to a natural death and graduate. And yes, I believe, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I know for a fact, and other people can believe or not believe, that when you cross over, when you die and you lose this body, you live on. And you have graduated to another level, and you have another code of color about your aura, your energy on the other side from what you've experienced here on the school of Earth. Okay? It's not an easy school. And there's some good things here. The most amazing feeling here on Earth is love, right? Being in love is amazing. But as you get older, it's like, what is in love? That's a topic for a whole nother video, right? when you're younger, in love, you get these flutters and you get these in loves, and when you're older, you look at in love a little more practical, and things start to change. And so, but that's an amazing feeling here on earth. And I know some of you are going to think that I'm talking a little funny, but this is how I believe, based on everything I've studied, things that I felt, information that I've channeled my whole life, that earth is a place of emotions, and it's really hard to master emotions. It's one of my biggest challenges here. I'm a spiritual warrior, but I cry a lot, and I'm very emotional, and I try to master my emotions here. And I know I talk like I've lived other places, but I feel like I have lived on other planets, and I feel like I've been in other forms, and I feel like, if we didn't have emotions here on earth, think about how everything would be different, how we do things. Emotions are wonderful, but also, like with co-creation, for example, when you're trying to create things in your life and you're visualizing and you feel emotional, you're like when you're trying to draw in money or drawing something, you're supposed to, it's a good technique to picture it and let the emotion come up of what it is, and that is supposedly to draw it to you more, like law of attraction. Well, that's hard to do, and you have to sit down and you have to do it, because if you don't have that money, you don't have that good health thing, you don't have that thing, it's hard to imagine it and to conjure up that emotion, right? But when you feel kicked or hurt or abused or abandoned or let down by somebody in your life, that emotion is real and you feel it and it's strong. So then you have that law of attraction. Then you got a pity party going on up in your head, and you're getting negative thoughts and all this emotion, so you're drawing more of that to you. So if you can try to take the time out to focus on these other things. I know there's been times in my life where I've been going through things where I'm like, gosh, if there's any way to draw any positive energy at all, and I think it was a time when I wasn't praying a whole lot, but I was trying to think, what could I think of that would be positive? And some of these times were so rough, I really just could only think of, like, it's going to sound weird, but my favorite thing to eat. Like, just something positive at all. Any tiny positive vibration, kind of like a pilot light, right, to make the positive stuff come back. But at any rate, do good things for your neighbors. When you're feeling down, and even if it's, I guess the next 20 years or whatever, I guess you just have to ignore it. And ignore the pain and the sadness and the loss and the grief and the stuff that just comes at us, stuff our kids are doing, stuff, disease, money stuff. It's stuff just comes at you, comes at you, comes at you. I'm trying to look at it as a video game and lesson, and remember to stay in prayer. Great Spirit, Mother God, show me what I need to know. All available angels and archangels of the most benevolent of results, show me what I need to know. And when the problem is too big and too hard and too heavy, just grab it and visualize it and turn it over to God and cut the cords. Sometimes I visualize putting it in a chariot and thousands of angels carrying it away. And cut the cords, because you can't deal with these certain things. It's just too much. But if you sit there and lament about it and go over and over and over, then you're going to create more of it, because the law of attraction, right? So basically, when people do good things, and people are doing good things every day, little things like what that gal did for me yesterday, and people that check in with me because they know, what I'm going through with some different medical stuff right now, and just strangers, that don't really know me, just call me up, see if I'm okay. And I want you all to do that for somebody, okay? Reach out to somebody right now. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you still drawing, painting, music? Yeah, whatever's going on. You still cooking? How you doing? What's going on? Just let them know that you give a shit, that they're alive in the world. And a lot of people wonder what they could have done for someone that was contemplating suicide. And really, suicide comes down to that person's decision, and between that person and God. Okay? And I think that people that really do it don't necessarily talk about it a lot. But people that are connected to them, they get a feeling, okay? So it's talking about it and saying, oh, we don't want you to die, you shouldn't die, or, these aren't necessarily the ways. Kind of like a grizzly bear, in my opinion. You have to, come at it from a different direction of like it could be a Facebook photo, or they've done something creative, acknowledging something that they did. Participating in their life, helping them find something that they're good at. Because feeling good at something, I know it sounds weird, but it takes away suicidal tendencies. Find them an instrument. Give them some spiritual life coaching and find them something that they love to do. Figure out what they love. If they're a teenager, an adult, whatever they are, find out what they love. Take them out of school, take them on a road trip, take them to do something different, get off the path that you're on. If you feel like that someone that's close to you is suicidal, whether they're talking about it or not, if you feel like that, do something. And if you don't know what to do, okay, well, pray. Same thing I said earlier. Great Spirit, Mother God, guides, angels, call in, give me a clear sign. I am dense, I don't know what to do. Please give me a clear sign what to do. And you know that if that person actually takes their own life, you will have done everything you possibly could do. First of all, you've paid attention to them. You've seen something they might be doing that's good and positive, and you've made an effort to be like, okay, let's try to find their bliss, or maybe get them a spiritual life coach to help them do that. But when you're giving it to God, and you're giving it to Mother God, to Great Spirit, and you're really sincerely praying for signs and clarity, you really do know that you are doing all that you can do if you are meant to intervene. And if you're not, then if they do end up crossing over, that you know that really that was what was meant to be. Okay, so, but if you get a feeling to call somebody and to just tell them, hey, I'm thinking of you, I know you were down yesterday, how you doing? And they may call you back, they may not call you back, but they got the message, okay? A text that says, I love you, I'm thinking of you, they might be like, I don't really want to hear from you. Maybe it's someone from the past and you're like, eh. But really, I think that it matters to them, even if they never ever tell you. Trust your own intuition on this. And when you're feeling down, I know so many of you are feeling spiritually vacuous, a void, just empty, and like you don't know what to do to fill that space. And I know many of you are alone and single and craving companionship. And it is the times we're living in, but we're in a great transformation of light and dark. And in a way, there's a huge battle going on, but it's good. The light is winning. And I know many of you may not see that and may see things as more darker right now, but we're in this void and we're kind of bored in it. And we're like, well, what do we do? Every day is that, what are we going to do with this day? What should we do? Even if we're driven, we're a little bit like, well, what now? But that's because we're in this void of cleansing and there's a lot of stuff bubbling up. And there's a lot more chaos going to happen. Call it Bible prophecy, call it whatever prophecy you want. But there is a whole lot of chaos coming. But if you choose to, you've seen those Facebook photos where one guy's looking at the cell, it's the cell bars, and the other guy's looking at the picture in the background. Or if you choose to look out this window and there's beauty, or this window and there's a wall. If you watch the chaos and, or you participate, or, wherever you feel called to do, then you're called to do. But basically, as light workers, right now, it is a time of prayer. It is a time of bringing in the light. It's calling all light workers and teaching each individual person to raise their own vibration, to pray, to not be stuck in emotional issues and beating themselves up, to have compassion for their self, to forgive their self, to send out love, and to do this and work with guides, with their spiritual guides, angels, archangels, Mother God, Father God, the Great Spirit. Work with Spirit and help raise the vibration of Mother Earth and her people, one person at a time, one heart at a time. So you don't have to go out and do all of these really big things. You don't have to. Now we're moving into a time that's more like 5D versus 3D, and so we're in a spiritual battle. So even if you pick up the sword and you do something with it, that's just an illusion. But what you do in the spirit realm is not an illusion. Okay, that goes on into eternity, because right now, and again, I'm going to sound out there, but there are spiritual beings here helping us. What happens on Earth affects the whole universe, okay? There is other life on other planets. It doesn't make any sense for there to be all of this space and, I mean, come on. It's just common sense that we're not the only people, living beings in the universe, okay? It just makes sense. So everything that we do to raise our vibration and to help someone else raise their vibration and to stay alive and actually get to graduation. Even if we're just gardening and we're working through and we're getting our hands in the dirt and we're just, maybe we're watching a movie and we're reading and we're laughing with our kids, whatever we're doing, and we're moving through and staying positive as much as we can, which is often a huge challenge. But I want to encourage you to trust your gut. All right, help someone in line if they need $20. Trust your gut. If you feel like calling somebody, call them. If you're in the middle of dinner and you're in some, even the weirdest situation, you get this, I need to call so and so. Go call so and so. Okay, and the more you trust your intuition and talk to your spirit guides and angels, the more this information will come to you, and you can be part of helping raise the vibration of Mother Earth and her people. And you don't need to do some big dramatic thing, or you don't need to start a church or go door to door, or you do it in your life with the circle that's been put around you, okay? Your body is your temple, okay? Everywhere you go, that's your pulpit. Your smile, I always say, my smile is my sermon. But any positive thing at all that you can say to someone is your sermon. And I'm not saying that you should do this with everyone. You want to be healthy and have healthy boundaries. I have people in my life that I've cut out of my life because I've tried that positive, be sweet, but then when you're putting yourself in like too much secondhand smoke and toxins and loud TV and just chaos just to let that person know they're loved, if you feel that you need to let go of that person in your life, then that is your intuition. Trust that too. I'm not talking about guilt versus intuition. Oh, I feel guilty. I have to go see my family member and help them because they're all alone and I don't want to die alone. No, if they're mean to you and abusive to you and you have to be around cigarette smoke and loud noise and you decide that's not good for you, your intuition, trust your intuition over your guilt and shame. Okay? Which oftentimes those get confusing. Okay, and I also, sometimes I get confused on whether something is, if I feel like something is intuitively wrong, or if it's fear or ego, or if my intuition is telling me that something is wrong. And it's really, I'm working more and more on this, but, the more you listen, the more information you get. Like the other day, and I was driving along regular speed, and there was traffic everywhere, and I'm not a traffic sort of girl, but I decided that I didn't really feel fear, but I felt the pressure in my chest, and I felt in my head, you're gonna hit someone. Okay, well, there's no one. I mean, there's traffic, but there's no one in my lane. Everything's going smooth. You're going to hit someone. Okay, now, is this my mind? Is this thing in my chest fear? Have I created this? But what would it hurt to not just go, okay, I'm going to hit someone, so I'm going to adjust myself so that if this is going to happen, it doesn't happen. Even if everyone around you is all pissed off about it, right? So I came to almost a complete stop in traffic and pretty much slowed down to almost a stop, and all of a sudden, boom, this big black car was in my lane sideways, right there. And of course I stopped like that because I could, right? And then the car went through, everybody kind of opened up, and I was thinking, I don't know where it came from, I don't know what happened, but I was so grateful that I had listened. And then after that, the feeling let up in my chest. Okay, but I get confused, and this happens often, is it intuition? Is it bullshit in my own head? Is it my past? Is it my fear? Is it my ego? So, you just have to pray for clarity and keep moving through. So I guess I'll wrap this video up with telling you folks that help people when you can, when you intuitively feel right. Even if you'll never see them again, they'll never help you. Someone gives you their business card, you have their phone number, and you see that they're down, why not give them a call? If you're waiting on somebody and you see that they're down, and you see that they're kind of sassy like me, give them shit. If they're kind of sweet, and probably not going to be into sarcasm or being sass, just waitresses save lives. A lot of people end up not taking their life because a waitress was kind to them. Did you know that? Your interaction with people as servers, selling clothes, selling food, waiting on tables, you are the preachers. You are the priestesses. You are the goddesses, the gods out there among the people, saving them, inspiring them, giving them love. A lot of times they're giving you crap, trying to hurry up. And I can tell because every time people wait on me, they're like, okay, I'll be right there. I'm like, I got all the time in the world. It's okay. Relax. You know, even in Hawaii, it's like, you're in Hawaiian time. You should be all like, kick back. I'll be with you in a minute, ma'am. You know, and they're like scared because tourists treat them like crap. You know, be nice. Slow down. Relax. And remember that everybody that you meet and interact with has a whole lot of stuff going on that you'll never know. You don't need to know. But your smile is the best sermon that you could ever give them. Well, God bless you folks, and I will talk to you again real soon.